This is new to the Cadillac lineup. Here's the thing, Cadillac has been doing the Escalade forever. They're known for the Escalade. Yes, the Escalade. They have struggled with SUVs below the Escalade.
They still are. What?
And they're trying to change that. The XT4 is their little 4-cylinder, their small 5-seater that actually I think looks pretty great, I have to be honest, and it's selling pretty well. Then they have above that the XT5, which is also a 5-seater. It has the V6 out of this, but now we have the XT6, which, let's just put it in its place, is the GMC Acadia and the Chevy Traverse platform redone for Cadillac, restyled for Cadillac, so it is a 7-seat, all-wheel drive optional, unibody CUV with a V6.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels dedicated to great cars, driving adventures, and helping you find a car you'll love.
subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss a thing.
It shares 7 SUVs.
Deep breath. Here you go.
This, the XT6.
Yes.
The XT5, as Todd said, the aforementioned Acadia, the Chevy Traverse, the Buick Enclave, the baby Buick Enclave, and the Chevy Blazer 2-row and the Chevy Blazer 3-row. All front engine, transverse mounted, independent rear suspension. It's good for front or all-wheel drive.
Yes.
Kind of the same, which to me makes a whole bunch of products in your catalog that are kind of the same, and there's just a little bit more gussied up materials, and that's all you really get. To me, this is the equivalent of an actor phoning in their performance, and they're kind of bored, and they didn't really care too much. I don't understand why this exists, short of people being loyal to Cadillac and wanting to buy this because it's a Cadillac.
Wow. All right, we're 2 minutes in. Thank you for watching.
I know I'm being hard on it.
You are being hard on it.
There's reasons.
I see your thinking. I actually think, I'll go here. I think this makes more sense in the lineup than the XT5 does.
I agree with that.
I think this makes the XT5 irrelevant. The XT4 is at least interesting and different. This now has 7 seats, which in this market, that's the better place to go.
You kind of need and want, and I get it. Sure.
And you don't want to buy the full body-on-frame monster, much more expensive Escalade. You don't need that level of towing.
True.
So as a result, you get this, it tows like 4,000 pounds, and you get all of the usability of 7 seats.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go here. Of all of the trucks you mentioned with styling on this platform, I think this is the best looking one.
Okay, it's good looking, I'll give you that. I'm trying to figure out why Cadillac isn't separating itself even more from everything else. And GM is just looking at the platform they've got and saying, all right, let's just build the Cadillac version of it, because that's what they did.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go get a fully loaded Acadia and save some money? This is $71,000. For $71,000, we're shopping in a good realm. There's some good SUVs out there.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out, sitting here, you don't sit down and think, wow, it's good. It's nice. It feels quality.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. There's good materials. It's leather. It does feel luxurious. I don't know that it's $71,000 worth of luxurious or feel.
Yeah.
But then we've got all these other SUVs. You could get a fully loaded Acadia and be pretty happy.
With the Denali and all those kind of things, you'd probably still be 10 grand less than this. So it's a good point. It's a very good point.
So as far as the styling, that's what they've done. And I think for too many years, Cadillac has copied their logo.
The shield.
Swished. Yeah, shield shape, that's good. Everywhere you look. It's on the rearview mirror, the instrument binnacle, the AC controls below that, the binnacle below that.
You're right.
It's on the
You're
grill.
Right. I wish you
were
wrong.
It's the back
window.
Not. It's the license plate holder below that. It's the bumper below that. Everywhere you look, it's that same shield shape.
You're right.
Are we not done? Are we not moving on? A decade and a half ago, it was cool and interesting and fun and edgy, and Cadillac's doing something different. But there's too many flavors of this that are not differentiated enough. Cadillac needs to be the brand that is doing amazing, cool stuff. And you know that the Cadillac you buy, that is the only car on that platform. That costs money to do that.
Yeah, it does.
I
Big time,
know
big
that.
time.
But I want them to do it anyway. I want them to fully differentiate Cadillac and not just be a better Enclave.
I do have to say that they have refined this well. I owned a first-gen Acadia, okay? No, I don't think that's the case. I mean, look, it's big. It's big, but it's big. Nothing about this is sloppy, though. Well body controlled for something that is large and tall.
GM is the king of body control.
Yes.
With magnetic ride and with their independent suspension and what they do, they are good, and it is comfortable. It is great for
You
road
could
trips.
saw miles with the whole
It's
family
amazing.
in this.
Yeah.
It's great. Honestly, here's the thing that GM has done very well with the first gen Acadia and also with the second gen, which is what this is on.
Right,
okay,
right.
this doesn't look that big when you stand next to it. This isn't like exterior wise. This is not huge, and you get in here and you go, this has got a lot of space.
Okay.
You put this comparatively
Right.
next to the Escalade, and you wonder where all your space went in the Escalade, because the Escalade's a house. It's a stadium on wheels.
True.
And yes, it's body on frame and it tows a bunch of stuff and it has
Sure.
monster engines. I
Sure,
get
sure.
it. But 7 people in an Escalade, you're not any more roomy than you are in this. And this is significantly smaller.
You're right.
They've done that very well with the whole platform. I like the use of space in here quite a bit. The seats are average. I want GM to make some seats that wow me. And short of the new C8 Corvette, they haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
These seats are very
Well-
average. They do have full power in the back 2 rows. You press the button. There's no. I don't have to fold them anymore. Press the button.
On a Cadillac.
Yeah, exactly.
They need to change the script, by the way. The script is just, come on, modern, cool Cadillac. Boom.
Well, they took off the wreath.
Yeah,
off the
the wreath
logo.
needed to go.
Now they can update other things, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But they took away their own laurels. Has anybody ever done that? These are the jokes, people.
Can't polish laurels anymore. Speaking of space, let's go back to space.
Okay.
And they have done a brilliant job. I fully agree. It is great use of space. The far back seats are surprising. But you can get 6 other flavors of that platform
Yeah.
with different styling.
Yeah.
If space is what you're going for, then what compels
This
you to buy
is-
the Cadillac and
that's
spend
tough.
$71,000?
I'll go you one further.
What is it that
Let's
compels
jump
you?
away from GM real quick to our favorites in this category.
Yeah.
The Palisade
Yes.
and the Telluride. Okay?
Yes.
The Kia and Hyundai offerings of these two are our favorites. Now, we also like
Yeah.
the Toyota Highlander. That's another 7-seat, all around $50,000 loaded. I like this a lot. I think this is a fantastic competitor to the Telluride. I honestly, if you put this next to the
I agree.
Telluride, because I love the Telluride a lot.
agree.
I think if you parked this next to the Telluride and you said pick one, I would be hard pressed to find a favorite. I like it that much. The
Okay,
problem
I'm
is,
with you. I'm with
this
you.
is $20,000 more. That's the problem.
Yeah.
GM has in this a Telluride competitor, possibly a Telluride beater, but it cost you 20 grand more. And that is the place that I struggle with it, because I genuinely, as a family car, I really like this. I haven't even talked about the power. I'll talk about the power when you drive it.
Yeah.
There's things about this I genuinely like. It's that comparative, though, for the money that I struggle with that makes me go back to where you were, which is, are you just a Cadillac buyer in need of a 7-seater that's not the Escalade? And that's a tough thing.
I'm having trouble seeing what the XT6 pulls buyers in that you can't get elsewhere, or can't get other cooler, better, more interesting, more developed things. The Lincoln Aviator, the seats alone in that are amazing and
They are very
interesting
good,
and
yep.
different and thoughtful, and they do things that these seats do not. What about a GLE or the base GLS from Mercedes? If you're going to spend that kind of money, get a Mercedes. It's a different level. Get a BMW X3, X5, X7. Get an MDX. Get a loaded Acura MDX.
Loaded Acura MDX is a lot of car for the money.
Discover Volvo, the XC90. The interior is jewelry. It's amazing. So I'm trying to figure out what compels me as a buyer to come over here and spend $71,000 for something that can be found in 6 other platforms.
My question on this interior, while I'm still struggling with the price, I think the material choices in here, by and large, are excellent. Excellent material choices.
Okay.
They feel
Okay.
good. They look good. It feels premium. I don't know if it feels 70,000, but it does feel premium.
does, it does.
And I like that. I like the placement, overlaps. It's all very nice, with one exception.
Okay.
We have brown carbon fiber in here. I know somebody was probably going for bronze. I realize it was probably going for bronze, but it's got a carbon fiber trim look.
Bronzish in the light. It's a little.
It's brown in a car that's
Coppery?
gray. By the way, also
Copper?
this looks much better in any color than gray. But this is a bronze attempt at carbon fiber that just looks brown, and nobody ever in the history of carbon fiber has said, let's make that carbon fiber brown. That's never been a good choice. So that's actually the place that I struggle. Otherwise, it's pretty nice interior-wise. Cadillac, which got skewered by us and most for the Q system, has left it. Have you noticed what happened? They left the Q system.
It's like a phone.
You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, that's great. You can
Yeah.
do touchscreen, but if you don't want to do touchscreen, this little panel right down here, you know what this is? This is Mazda from 2010. Tell me I'm wrong. Now,
You're not wrong.
it worked really, really well for
Yeah.
Mazda in 2010. It was one of my favorite interfaces. So in that regard, it's a score, but I look at this, and the minute I looked at it, I went, oh, it's the Mazda interface from 2010.
You're not wrong. I was looking for the volume knob, and I was Oh, yeah. Okay, it's right here, so that's ergonomic, and that's nice. I'm glad it does have a volume knob.
I know I'm going to go back to the exact same shape. You've got the big shield that defines the whole interior shape. You can see the shield here again, and the shield here again, again, and again, and again.
On the
I've seen
airbag horn button.
multiple shields.
The shapes are, even the rearview mirror, the one shape that isn't is the shifter.
Yeah.
It's a blob.
Yeah.
It should cut me. I should put into gear. It should cut me.
If you're going to have this many sharp shields.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It should be awesome and like, blood, I'm shifting in like sharp Cadillac. It should be different than this blobby shape that doesn't go with every other established theme in here.
Yeah.
That is the shield shape. You can find it. It's like a game all over the car. Like,
It is.
find the places.
How many can you? It's almost as bad as triangles in the RX-8. Almost.
Almost.
It's close.
Almost.
Yeah.
Blam, blam, blam.
I think what I'm realizing is I think I like this a lot more than you do.
You do.
There's a lot of things about it that I genuinely like. I struggle with the price compared to its competitors, as we've already
In a
discussed.
vacuum, it's cool and great and luxurious.
Yeah.
Cars do not exist in a vacuum, and they have competitors.
I do have a few things that impress me and a few that annoy me. Let me go with impressive right now.
Okay.
That's power.
Oh, yeah.
310 horsepower, about 270 pound-feet of torque, and a new 9-speed transmission. The first gen Acadia I had a terrible 6-speed that didn't know what to do. This 9-speed is genuinely superb.
It is. It's great.
And
it's great.
it matched with that engine, you will be really surprised at the power in this thing. It moves, and it consistently moves at a level that I think is surprising to the driver. And if you get the all-wheel
Which is a
drive,
good thing.
Yes,
it should have power at this level and price.
And if you get the all-wheel drive version, you can change your mode to sport mode. Sport mode is also an all-wheel drive setting.
Yeah, I'm noticing on here.
If you're
trying to figure out all-wheel
in
drive.
normal touring, it's just front-wheel drive. But if you put it in sport mode, it goes to all-wheel drive because it actually tries to vector the torque to help you in corners.
Yeah.
I have driven this thing genuinely hard on freeways with corners. My son was late to something, and I had to get there. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, and we were both very impressed. They actually said if you get here by this time, he can still attend.
It?
I got there.
He liked
it. Well, he was impressed with what it was. He was impressed with the fact that Dad got in there. Let's be
Well,
honest.
yeah.
So that horsepower and the transmission, I have to say, the drive line in this, I'm quite impressed with.
Yeah.
And I think that sport mode, such as it is, in spite of the fact this is not a sporty vehicle, does a good job. 3.6 liter V6 with 310 horsepower.
Yeah.
A 9-speed transmission.
Right.
I have not hit a 4 anywhere in there. On the back of this, on the back of every one I've seen, it says 400. That's not the horsepower number. That's not the torque number. That's not the engine size. 400 watt. 400 watt. GM 400 watt.
I even converted it to Newton meters. It came out to 373, which is
that still doesn't do it.
Not 400.
That's still not 400. What? 400 watt? It's not even like
we're just rounding up.
Hey, you know what? I look back. You know that right corner on the back needs something. How about a 400 badge?
I feel like they're holding back, and they are going to give us some cool stuff, and we're going to be like, Cadillac, amazing, they're back, we love them.
All right.
They're racing team. They have racing provenance. They have tech. They have GM behind them.
They have some of the best chassis engineers out there.
Absolutely.
The chassis engineers are superb.
Absolutely. And here we are with a vehicle, an SUV, that I can't figure out why I should tell you to go buy it. I can't. I cannot say, yes, this is the one to go buy. It's great. If you like Cadillac, I mean, I hate to be honest, but it feels like Cadillac is going backwards because this is the one my grandfather would have bought. He left Cadillac for Lexus at age 98.
Okay, yeah.
But this feels like the one that would appeal to him. Okay. And that's the whole point that Cadillac, for 20 years, has been trying to get away from, is the older buyer and, really make it cool and, something different.
It's
good. It's all good.
I have to agree
good.
with your points because I see the validity of your points.
But the real stuff is coming.
Let's hope so. I actually think this was a missing hole in the Cadillac lineup more than the XT5 was.
So it's a product planner's car.
It's a product planner's
it's
car.
It's not a designer's. It's not a car
No, it's
enthusiast
not.
car.
I think the XT5 is now made totally irrelevant by this. They should have the 4 and the 6 and the Escalade.
Yes.
Because if you aren't buying the Escalade, you can't get 7 seats out of Cadillac. You need another option.
Okay, fine.
You need
And it's a totally different platform.
You need a non-heavy duty
Yeah.
7-seat option. This is perfect. We have one in our sister companies. Let's make the Cadillac version. The styling is superb. It doesn't look as similar as the others do to each other.
No, and it does look premium.
It looks premium. I think the styling is excellent.
Yeah.
It has filled that whole lineup. It is absolutely product planning and not anything else.
That's what bugs me the most about it.
I know.
I looked up the dimensions. It's the same headroom, shoulder room, and legroom and hip room as the XT5.
Without having a 7-seat.
It's just
This has got more space.
This is just a little bit wider and slightly longer, and
Yeah,
that's it.
but you get a
same
third
engine,
row.
same transmission, same.
Of course, but you get a usable third row out of it.
That's why this should exist and not the
better.
XT5.
Yes, see, there you go.
I'm exhorting Cadillac. I am exhorting you to do that and bring us something amazing and interesting and cool, not just fill holes in the lineup. And that's what I feel like this does. Power's good.
It does it
Ooh.
well. I know, yes.
It actually sounds pretty decent.
It sounds good. It's got good power. It's got great space. It's got decent materials. $71,000
Until you start shopping around.
$71,000 is my problem.
I cannot justify it. I cannot say, come bring your money and buy this when the other 3 versions exist at lower price levels that'll give you the same engine and powertrain.
I think my bigger struggle is the fact that, like I said before, we're 20 grand more than the ones we love in the Palisade and the Telluride.
Yeah.
20 grand is a lot of money
And
to
I'd take
not
those.
step up that much.
Yeah, I'd
You
take
know?
those before I'd take
Yeah.
this. And this is nice to drive.
No, there's no rowing. It genuinely goes. This is a powerboat, buddy. There you go. See, it's got the Evinrude out back. It's going now.
Evinrude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
That's funny.
Cadillac XT6, the 400 Evinrude. There it is.
That's
That's
where
where
they
the
got
400 comes from.